All right, Apple's tablet release has been wrapped in the usual secrecy the company has become known for. What is it like to work at that company during a new product launch, and why are they so obsessed with keeping the details under wraps? We're joined by former Apple senior systems engineer Ed Eigerman, who was at the company for the iPod launch. Ed now runs his own technology consulting firm. Ed, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start by talking about the secrecy. I mean, how key is this? How much do employees know about what's going to happen, say, tomorrow?
As little as possible. I mean, the employees are kept in the dark the same way that the media is kept in the dark. If you're not actually involved in a product, you're expected to not know about it. There's a lot of internal security, even just making sure that one department's not talking to another department about what they're working on, if it's a new product launch, if it's a new thing.
Because you were a pretty senior person there, and yet you even said you were at the iPod launch and you didn't know about the products.
I knew nothing about the iPod launch, about the iPod specs until the morning of the launch. So literally 90 minutes beforehand, I heard a few things.
There's some journalists who have described working there after they speak with people who have left that it's almost like a terrorist organization. I hate to say it that way, but it's like in these small cells where secrecy, as you mentioned, you know, there's supposed to be no overlap between products or between knowledge. What does that do for the company or to the company?
Well, what it does for the company, I mean, I think it provides two incredible assets to the company. One, of course, is the press generated by their product launches. I mean, nobody else gets the kind of press to launch a new product that Apple gets. And largely it's because no one knows what they're going to do until they do it, and sometimes it's exciting. The other thing is that they, you know, as an industry leader, they get to keep what they're doing the secret from the rest of the industry. Now, from the inside, you know, the experience is...
What does it do to morale?
It has a very funny effect on morale. People internally get very excited about product launches. They follow the rumors the same way people do on the outside, the same way I do now that I'm on the outside. But it can also be a little frightening. I mean, people do get intimidated. People get worried that they know too much, and they're going to spill something that they're not supposed to know.
Oh, so it's not like you're the cool guy since you actually know the iPod's coming out. You're actually concerned that you might accidentally tell your nephew or something.
Yeah, well, the one thing when I was there, and occasionally I would get a piece of information that I wasn't supposed to have, that was the one thing I would never tell anyone. If I read something on a rumor site, I'd be happy, oh yeah, I can tell you this, I read it on a rumor site.
But you did share something with someone, right? Because you got the axe.
Well, I did get the axe, and I did get the axe for violating the intellectual property rules at Apple. I ended up accidentally giving a piece of software to a client, to a customer here in New York City, a week before release.
But you say that's something that, you know, happened a fair amount, and then Apple seeks those people out and then makes an example.
If they find out, there's no turning back.
I want to talk about the tablet because there's so much hype building and building. You know, it's meant to be, or we've heard it's maybe released tomorrow. What do you think is special about this product, if anything?
Well, I think it's interesting because it's going to... There's two sort of market trends that people have been watching over the last couple of years, and one is the Kindle. You know, everyone sort of was very dubious that there was a marketplace for an earbook reader, especially at that price point. And then the other is the Netbook. People were very dubious of that. You could make a lower-powered device. People would carry it around, do their basic productivity tasks on it. And I think Apple is going to try to combine those two with a media-savvy device that can do ebooks, do video, do music, and at the same time do basic productivity tasks.
Do you think it can change the world like the iPod arguably did?
I don't think it can have the kind of impact that the iPod or the iPhone did, but then again, I'm not sure I thought the iPod or the iPhone was going to have the kind of impact that it did. Apple has a unique way of maximizing the impact of its products. So
it could certainly hit the 3G network. I mean, imagine what could happen if everybody starts to use the internet on this thing, and it's got to be a much more pleasant experience because you can actually see big pictures.
Yeah, I mean, compared to, if you look back at what the iPhone has done to the 3G network in the big cities in the United States, it's been a huge addition to the load, a big problem. So another device is going to be a big deal.
We don't have a ton of time left, Ed,
Sure.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how cool is it to be in the same room as Steve Jobs? A 1 or a 10?
If you work for him, it's either a 1 or a 10.
All right, nothing in the middle.
Nothing in the middle.
Ed, thanks so much for joining us. Former Apple engineer Ed Eigerman.